Hello?
Hello, sir. How are you?
Good. Siddhi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good, good, good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, sir. What about you?
Good, good. Sorry I was a little late. Siddhi, can you tell me about yourself a little bit? Since I don't have questions for you, I also want to know what are you looking for uh, during this counseling session?
Uh, yeah, actually, I'm from Andhra Pradesh, Kakinada.
Okay.
Then I did my bachelor's in metallurgy and material science
Mm-hmm.
from Triple IT Vijayawada,
Mm-hmm.
and I did my master's in nanotechnology from BTU Bangalore region.
Okay.
Then I did my bachelor project in IISc
Uh-huh.
on titanium nitride in films for hard coating application. At the same time, I worked on shock waves also. Shock waves interacting with the metals.
Mm-hmm.
And master project, I worked on lithium-ion batteries at BHL, Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited. I just recently graduated in 2019. Right now, I'm working in the Center for Nanoscience and Soft Matter, CENS Bangalore. It's a DST laboratory.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working as a R&D assistant now.
Is it a
I'm
is
looking
it
for
is it a full-time job or it's a project?
it's actually part time. It's like a full time job for the contract base,
I
one
got
year
it.
contract.
Got it. Okay. And my question to you is what exactly you are looking for from me during this counseling session? What's your objective here? Can you define a little bit so that I can answer those?
Yes, sir. Actually, now I'm trying for the PhD opportunities.
Okay.
I started applying for the European universities and some
Got
other Asian universities like Japan and all.
it. Got
Even
it.
I gave an interview with the I had a Skype interview with the Japan professor.
Okay.
Even he's like his name is Professor Kazunori Matsuda.
Okay.
He's from Kyoto University.
Uh-huh.
The thing is, there is some financial issue is there.
Okay.
It's like the scholarships. They show like they can't issue that they'll give the scholarship. Only thing is they told like me like you can take a risk and you can come up with your own money and you can survive for some months. Then once we get any the scholarship, then we can provide, but we can't give you the assurance. So then I just now I'm waiting for the scholarships actually.
Okay. I got it. Okay. Okay. So okay. I understood now your questions. And you are single, not married or anything, right?
No, sir, I'm single.
Okay. Okay, okay. So I understand your point here. Let me ask you, have you given your GRE TOEFL or not yet?
No, sir.
Okay. Are you planning or no?
No, the thing is like mm, uh, my education, like I did my bachelor's in English medium, no, so even both masters and bachelors, even PUC also.
Mm-hmm.
So there I heard like if I submit a form like if I did my bachelor's and masters both in English medium,
Mm-hmm.
so then I think there is no need to provide like English proficiency test course.
Okay. So I think your information is wrong.
Okay,
Yeah. So you have to give TOEFL for sure.
TOEFL. Okay, sir.
Yeah. There are, so let's say if you are trying to apply to universities in US, let's say,
Okay,
you have to give
okay,
GRE and TOEFL both.
okay,
Okay. If you are applying for European universities, I think Asian universities, I'm not sure that much, but I think TOEFL or ELTS is must.
okay,
I don't know much about Japan, but in my opinion, that they need some kind of a English proficiency test or something. But you can check with those universities. But for Europe, UK, Australia, US, TOEFL is a must. For
okay,
US, GRE is must for sure. I don't know much about whether Australia or UK or Europe they need GRE. I don't know that, but you can check from the website of those universities. Okay, so
Sure.
you have to give TOEFL. There is no if and but on that. I think another place you can also look for is at South Korea. I think that might be a good thing. If I mean you are already looking for Asian universities, so try to look for South Korea. And the reason I say so is because South Korea, there are some universities in South Korea who are really good in material science and metallurgy.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, there is a university called PostAc. I think that's a good university. They do lot of
Okay.
they are very good in core metallurgy, especially in I think they have a
What is it?
it's
Can
called
you please tell me the name of the university?
it's called PostAc.
Post-tech.
Yeah, if you Google Postec, and there is an institute called Ferris Institute in Postec or something. So this is a very core university which works on stainless steel and iron base alloy. But in general, I
Okay.
think it's a so there are universities in Korea. What I meant is there are universities in Korea who do core metallurgy work. You can always go look for those also.
Okay, sir.
Um, in Japan, I would say there is a fellowship called, I think, JSPS. I don't know whether you look for that. It's called, it's basically JSPS fellowship. They give it for doing PhD as well as for postdoctorate fellowship. Actually, my wife did her PhD from Japan and she got that fellowship. So I know that
Okay.
for sure. It's given by the government, and it's a pretty good amount actually. I think they pay close to. I think for 3 years they pay for month they pay $2,500 or something. I think it's a pretty good money.
Okay.
So look for that. It's called JSPS Postdoctoral Fellowship. So I don't know whether how you can apply. I think you have to. So let's say you have already spoken to your advisor at Kyoto. I
Yes.
think he can write a recommendation letter or something, and it's given by Japanese government.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, so you can always apply for that fellowship also. Because you already
Sure.
spoke to professor in Japan, I think it might be helpful. Okay.
Sure, sir. I'll do that.
Yeah, and I think you have some publications also in your CV or no?
No, sir. I don't have any publication. I did some work, but I didn't write a paper actually.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it might be good idea to see if you can have some publications. One thing you have to understand, Siddhi, that um, so this is right now it's March, right? So um, whatever country you go,
Okay.
your chances of going there would be in uh, you will be starting there in August 2021,
Okay.
right? So you have almost more than a year to prepare for things. Um, I would say that make sure that you have uh, you plan that way. So I can tell you, for example, if you are planning to come to US, let's say for example, you
Okay.
have to give your GRE and TOEFL by November because all the applications will start in December, January for for the
Okay.
admission in August 2021.
Okay.
So make sure you plan accordingly. Um,
Sure.
and I would say by the time you are here, so don't be in that illusion that you don't have to give TOEFL or IELTS. I think you have to give that exam. So make sure you get that date also because
Sure, sir.
for some reason I mean I studied in India and there are many all the students that come to their PhD outside India they have to give TOEFL. Doesn't matter your education because I don't think they consider India as a English speaking country or whatever it is. So the countries like UK or Australia or New Zealand, they are okay, but not India. So you have to give that. So make sure you have the date there.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Um, I will also encourage you to apply for some DAT fellowship or some other fellowships from Indian government website or something. That might be another good idea. Look for those.
Okay.
Yeah. And your CV has one thing I will do is you have extracurricular activities and things like that. Those are good things to have, but make sure that you have some publication, relevant publications. I mean, I one thing I want to
Sure.
ask you. You have some Oracle certification and all that. Do you know why you have done those?
So like I was interested in computer language also and database and that. And
Mm-hmm.
uh, so I had a time, actually we had a trimester system in my college. So what happened, like in a year if we take, we hardly have 8 months classes. Remaining 3 months is like holidays for us. So I didn't want to waste time. So I just wanted to do some computer courses, like for it's just a general course for saving your data, and so I just did Oracle courses.
Okay, I understand. I mean, the thing is that
Then
looks like you have done
at the
some.
same time, I did because of for the automation purpose also. We had a software called Abacus and that. So for that one, we need a
Okay.
CC language, CC++.
Okay. I mean, I'm thinking how can you use these things, but I think you have given me some answers. So, is there anything else you want to ask from me? Because I still you have some good references also. So I think those will work. But eventually, you will need at least 3 or 5 references. Make sure you have also those references with you.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, but I don't know what other questions you have. Do you how what how can I help you here?
Uh, so the thing is like I'm applying for all universities. Only thing is like I don't have any publications. So I have a data actually. I did my bachelor project. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe that I can convert into some applications related, and then I can write a paper. Now I'm just working on that. Maybe if I get a publication, then it will be better for you. Then
Yeah,
it will really help.
I mean here is the thing. If you can get one publications or so, that would be good. But make sure you have a good GRE and TOEFL score also. Because
Sure.
if you screw up those exams, then doesn't publications doesn't matter that much.
Okay, so I didn't know actually.
Yeah. Make sure you give your best in your GRE and TOEFL exam. I mean, if I was you, I
Sure.
was basically get a date for my GRE and TOEFL and
Okay.
prepare for that very hard, because without those there is
Okay.
no way you will get anything. I think you can get a good recommendations from people who have worked and things like that. But what you are lacking right now is basically your GRE and TOEFL score. I mean, you can make your life pretty simple. Let me put it this way: by giving GRE and
Okay.
TOEFL, and then applying to universities in US or Canada or somewhere. And
Okay.
I think based on your CV and based on your work you have done and your references, I don't think if you get a good score, you will get admission with full scholarship. Because in US and Canada, I think if you get admission in PhD, it's with a scholarship. They don't give you without a scholarship.
Okay.
So your food and your basically your living will be paid and your tuition will be paid, everything. So you can make your life a little bit simpler. There are many people who are little bit scared of giving exams, GRE and TOEFL and all that, but that's the nature of the work. So you have to do that.
Sure, sure, I'll do.
If you go to Japan, if your professor at Kyoto says, we can apply for these fellowships and things like that, that can work out too.